Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Memoir Mentors Facebook Live. Today, I'm going to treat you to a tour of my closet, sort of. I know it sounds crazy, but our closets about us. The items in our closets tell stories. And I guess our closets in their entirety tell stories about how neat we are and how we hang up our clothes after we take them off, and how wrinkled they are, and uh, maybe some stories that we would rather not have told about us. But I will get to the point of this session soon. Yesterday, after posting a photo of myself with a Christmas sweater, had a Christmas village on it, I did a mental inventory of the items in my closet that tell a story. I also had to laugh at myself and how much my clothing and their brand labels show my age. I used to love Alfred Dunner label clothing because the tops camouflage fat bulges. but now that I'm old, I stay away from those racks at department stores because they shout, "Oh, lady!" and I'm trying to avoid the obvious. I don't know if any of you have gone through a phase that I once went through of buying a lot of clothing at consignment shops. I loved shopping at consignment shops. And I'm going to give you a sample of some of the things that I have purchased at consignment stores. For example, this jacket is a Karen Hart jacket. It is so detailed and so comfortable to wear, and I always got compliments on it when I wore it. I'm about to take it back to a consignment shop or to charity, but because I think I've kind of outgrown this kind of jacket. But it looks like a quilt, and I was so excited when I found it because Karen Hart jackets were just, I don't know, they were just the best. So, and part of consignment clothing shopping is like going on a treasure hunt. And if I found a Karen Hart jacket or a Coldwater Creek jacket or piece of clothing that would fit me, I just felt like I'd won the lottery. So that's one of the phases that's represented in my closet, the consignment store phase. And I'm one of those people that would always try to buy, if I could afford it, clothing for special occasions. If I had a convention to go to, if I had to speak at something, I would always try to get a professional looking outfit or something that seemed appropriate and gave me confidence and that I really liked. Well, this jacket is a jacket that I bought to wear to my son's engagement party. And gosh, that was, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I can't remember for sure. But I'm still wearing it, and but it may be a candidate to take to a consignment shop soon or to charity. But I've got a lot of clothes in my closet that are really really old. This, I guess, 12 years isn't all that old, but um, sometimes I'll wear something and I'll get a compliment on it and I'll think, wow, this old thing, I've had it for so long. But a lot of clothing just doesn't wear out. It may go out of style, but if it's good fabric that it's made of, it doesn't wear out like clothing did years ago. And this is another consignment shop purchase that I keep threatening to get rid of, but every time I wear it, strangers will come up to me and say, "That is such a cute jacket. Where did you get it?" Years ago at a consignment store. So, and let's see. I guess that's all the tour of my closet, except for some of you may be like me and you make what would I call it? Spontaneous, spontaneous purchases of items. I think it was during the pandemic that I had to have these cowboy boots. I was so down and depressed, like a lot of people were, from not being able to see my grandchildren and see friends and have lunch with friends. So we had to go to a farm store here in town for some reason, and I saw these and just fell in love. So I wore these to church for Christmas Eve a couple of years ago with a green velvet long skirt. And I was the only one that enjoyed seeing them because that was the year that didn't have, we couldn't gather in large groups. So there were like four of us at church that night. So, um, and if I were to give you an actual tour of my closet, it would clearly illustrate that I am going through a Sweet Adeline's singing phase of life because there are several costumes in there. There are several shirts, um, collared shirts, and long sleeve shirts that have our local chorus's emblem on it. So I've got a singing costume section in my closet. You know, so many women my age, and even some men, seem to appreciate my clothing that tells stories. But I'm sure that my son and his generation, to them, this all makes us seem quaint, old fashioned, or maybe just plain old. But I'm thinking that if he ever has to clean out my closet after I'm gone, he might just have some fond memories in some of those individual articles of clothing, like this Christmas vest that I seem to wear every year for the holidays. I think he may find fond memories like I found in recalling my mother's soft gray fur coat. I think it was just muskrat or something, maybe even artificial instead of mink, but I loved that coat. I think as a toddler, I might have even curled up on top of it and taken a nap on it. Um, I also remember a white fringed leather jacket that she wore. It was so eye catching. Besides fringe all over it, it had bright Indian beadings sewn on it. And then I have just as vivid a memory of the dressy black wool sheath dress that she always wore when she got dressed up. She always wore them with her mother's pearls. If you've watched very many of these Facebook Live videos, you probably know where I'm headed with all of this discussion of clothing. Our clothing is an important part of our personal history and our artifacts. Our closets are full of memories, full of sensory details like smells and feels of the clothing. Our closets tell the story of us, and I'm hoping that you will consider preserving memories of your clothing in some format, visually, photographically, or in writing, before you decide to clean the closet and take some of those items for recycling. I can assure you that your kids and grandkids will appreciate both the preservation and the recycling. Until next time, have a good weekend. Bye bye.